Okay, we're gonna make a bee like Mrs. Weech's. And you're gonna hang the bees from the ceiling right over your desk. It's gonna be really cool. We're gonna be like a giant beehive full of work. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is Mrs. Weech is gonna pass out one of these for each of you. This is the body of the bee. These are his eyes. This is his stinger. And these are the bee's stripes. Then these are the wings. This is your glue. I'm glad to see, I can see you. It's magic. I know if you've done this. And I'm gonna look and I'm gonna see, do you all have it all laying out like this? Good job. One thing you've got to know about me is that I look for good jobs. I do not like it when kids are sloppy. Please do not be sloppy. Okay, now I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. Now, we're going to cut out our bee. And before we go any further, you have to learn how to cut. Now, you've all been in kindergarten. But in kindergarten, it's not like Mrs. Weech's first grade. In Mrs. Weech's first grade, you learn how to cut. And we never chop. I'm going to take a little piece of this and show you what chopping is. This is chopping. That's chopping. And sometimes chopping makes little nicks in it. But we're not going to do that. This bee, I've got it stapled for you so it won't come apart. But what you have to do is you have to hang on tight to it so the two sides stay together. Because after a while, we're gonna glue them all together. So if you don't hang on tight, one bee will be stinking little and the other side will be big and it won't match together. So watch what I do. Now, I don't cut, no, I start and I cut all the way down with my scissors, run the scissors slowly, and when you cut, your scissors are always facing out, facing towards the front of your desk. You never cut back like this. You always face your scissors the same way. So, see me? My scissors are still pointing at you, aren't they? That's because, why can they do that? Because can you see my hand over here? What is it doing? My hand over here is turning the bee. You see the bee turn? My scissors are still pointing in the same direction. You see that? My scissors are pointing in the same direction. Uh-oh, now I come to a hard part. I do not want to go like this. No, I don't want to do that. I want to just go to the end. Now I'm going to turn the bee. See me turn it? And when you do this, you got to hang on tight so the two pieces stay together. I stapled it so it would help. See, my scissors still pointing toward you the whole time. See the bee turn? See him turn? Okay. You see how nice that cut is? And all the time, now, see all this extra paper? That's junk. And we're gonna keep it because we're gonna need it, but it's in the way. So I'm cutting it off. Now I'm gonna keep on going around so you can see, I've gotta keep that bee straight together. I have to hang on tight to it. So here I go again, pointing my scissors right towards the front of the desk, holding on as hard as I can, turning the bee. Are my scissors still pointing at you? They are. I know they are, because I can see you. I can see. Okay, my scissors are still pointing. Okay, now I gotta come to the neck. So I'm gonna hold on tight so it doesn't slip around. And see me turn that bee? My scissors are still pointing towards you, aren't they? Still pointing towards you. Still pointing towards you. Okay. And now it gets hard because you really have to hold. You see this hand? I'm really holding on tight so they stay the same, stay together. Okay? See, they're still pointing towards you. Goodbye. See, they're still pointing towards you. See? And I'm almost all the way around. Okay. Now, do you see how long that took me? And I'm a grown-up person. If you do it faster than that, yours won't be any good. Because you have to have pride in your work and go slowly. Now, if you think this is some sort of a race or something, yours won't look nice. But see, mine's exactly the same all the way around. Why? Because I hung on to it. I hung on to it tight. Okay? So now we have our bee. Okay, now we're going to do one thing at a time. So we're all going to do it together, and then when you've all got it, and she can look and see that you've got it all right, then when that happens, then we'll do the next thing, okay? But we're going to start with the tail of the bee, the very end of the bee. Now this is important. This is another skill that you've got to learn, okay? This skill is how to glue. Now, a gluing lesson. All right, I'm going to give you a gluing lesson. When most kids in kindergarten, no one teaches them how to really glue until they get to first grade. And when you get to first grade, you take the glue that Mrs. Wheat spent hours and hours hunting for all this stuff for you, and don't lose it, because when it's gone, it's gone. She's not going back to the store. She is broke, out of money. But watch me glue. Okay, I put the glue everywhere, clear out to the edge, all the way. Kindergartners they put a little glue like that, and that's all they do. And then stuff falls apart, but not our stuff. Because if I come in there at night when I'm allowed in there and I see stuff falling off, I may not come back. That's how it might be. Okay, now watch. See the dot? Okay, I put that on the dot and follow around the edge of the thing and put it like that. If it doesn't fit exactly, don't worry. Mrs. Weech cut them out. Okay, so now I've got that one. Now the next one. Now we have to make sure that these fit. So this one fits right between there like that, and right between there like that. The person that cut these out didn't do a real great job, but it's okay. Okay, see that? That's going to be the next stripe. So let's get those glued on next. Between the dots, 2 dots. Okay, now I'm going to put glue on mine. This glue is old and junky, but you're going to have nice new glue. Mrs. Weech didn't bring me any glue. She just brought me the pieces, but that's okay. Watch, see how I glue it real good, real well everywhere? See that? See me? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna put it on right between the dots. Between the dots, I don't get find the dots there. There, between those dots, and I glue it on. See how nice and tight that is? It won't fall off when it hangs on the ceiling. Now the next one is really hard because it's got a wide side and a narrow side. And this will, from here to here, that dot, that's the narrow side, and this is the wider side. So when I lay it on there, I've got to make sure that the narrow is on one and the wide is, see, that's narrow means shorter, wide means wider. Okay, now once I do that, I have to flip it over to make sure I get the glue on the correct side. Now, whoops, like I said, this glue is a piece of junk. Maybe I'll have better success with this glue right here. Looks better. Oh yeah, look at that smooth slide. Okay, now I'm gonna put it right there right under his neck. Do you think this bee is a boy or a girl? I don't know. Doesn't matter, really. There you go. Now, I have to do the very same thing to the other side.